Well, hey guys, guess what? I finally did it. I bit the bullet and decided to give the Nuface Trinity a go. I've been trying this out for the past couple of months. If you are new here, I have been highly skeptical of the Nuface since the start of my channel. The ideas behind it just don't add up. Physiologically, I don't think it's worth it, but I decided to actually try it out and see for myself. Like you guys, I see the commercials, I see the reviews, I see the before and afters. My curiosity has been piqued, so I decided why not try it out. In this video, I'm going to share with you my experience using it, how it worked, what I thought of it, and do I think it's worth it after having actually tried it. Nuface is a microcurrent device, basically sends a little electrical current to the skin, and the idea is that you're going to stimulate the muscles of the face to contract. You know, this type of electric current treatment, it's nothing new. It's actually used in medicine in something called a TENS unit, which is for treating pain. That came out in the 70s. But as far as using it for aesthetic enhancement, treatment, rejuvenation, it's really not evidence-based. Now, Nuface makes a lot of claims about how this device works. They claim that not only does it help stimulate the muscles underneath the skin, but it's going to help bring in circulation and it's going to boost up ATP in the cells of the skin. ATP is the energy currency. With age, our cells have less ATP, so the idea here is that by encouraging ATP production, you're going to boost up collagen production and elastin, having a wrinkle smoothing effect, as well as cell renewal and rejuvenating the skin barrier. There is no evidence to support any of that. There have never been any clinical studies on any kind of electrical current device to support these claims. It's merely just kind of guesstimating as to how it might work. Now, of course, Nuface has done their own industry-based studies. They claim that I think 80% of people saw an improvement in facial contouring using this device. They also claim that using this device is going to enhance penetration of skincare products. There are no supporting studies that microcurrent is going to enhance penetration of topicals. One of the main reasons I've always been skeptical of the Nuface device is the idea that using microcurrent to stimulate the underlying muscle bellies in the muscles of the face, it doesn't really seem like a logical anti-aging target for facial rejuvenation. Most of volume loss in the aging face is a result of redistribution of fat, changes in the bone, and then you've got skin changes, loss of collagen, loss of elasticity. Muscle, of course, there is some degree of age-related muscle atrophy, but the rate at which that occurs is far behind the aging of the overlying skin. All right, so I've been using this device once a day. I use it in the morning. You can use it in the morning or the evening. I like using it in the morning because I just find that, you know, I wake up, wash my face, and then I just find that that's an easier time to do it. At nighttime, I don't want to complicate things. And the way to use it, they insist that you use the gel primer that comes with it. They claim that this will enhance conduction of the current into the skin, the deeper layers of the skin. Okay, you definitely do need some kind of a gel on the skin underneath just to allow for good gliding across the surface of the skin. I kind of can see their argument about their particular product. There are certain salts and things that you would imagine would help with better conduction of the current into the skin. Whether or not you can use a like hyaluronic acid gel cream or some other product under this, they say don't, but honestly I tried doing that and it seemed to work just fine. That being said, I have no way of knowing how the depth of electric current penetration differs. At any rate, you certainly need something to help lubricate the skin as you glide this over the skin surface. I find it actually kind of relaxing to do. It doesn't take much time, it's 5 minutes, and I used it on my neck, my jawline, my mid-face, and the forehead area. Basically 3 passes to the neck, 3 passes to the jawline and the mid-face, and then 3 passes to the forehead, and then you're going to repeat that on the other side. In total it takes 5 minutes. Now the device beeps, so when you put it to one area, it's going to beep, and then you glide it along slowly, and ideally you get to the end and it'll beep. So you kind of learn the amount of time between beeps, so you can kind of pace yourself in gliding it over the skin. At first, I went way too fast, so going a little bit more slowly is ideal, so you reach that end point right around the time where it beeps. That way you get good, I guess, electrical current distributed across the surface there. I will be honest with you guys, like I said, highly skeptical that this was going to do anything, but I did notice immediately, like right away with using it, I did notice that the side of the face that I used it on in comparison to the other side of the face was definitely more tone. For example, my cheek, a lot more cheek definition after using it. I also used it kind of gliding it under the eye area, and I definitely noticed an improvement in under eye bags. I also noticed that the under eye area was tighter, but it was a very subtle change. Now, to be clear, as I was gliding this on the skin, I wasn't putting a lot of pressure, so I don't think I was just pushing fluid out of the skin, kind of like what you would get with those face rollers that are really popular, the ice rollers and those kinds of things. I think some of it may have actually been the result of the microcurrent, because I wasn't pressing very firmly, just gently gliding it over the surface of the skin. And I also noticed on my neck, it just seemed like I have some horizontal necklines. I noticed that those seemed ever so slightly less obvious. The following morning, my face looked exactly the same as it did had I never used the device. So no, it was not long lasting, and it was not drastic whatsoever. So to be clear, in order to maintain this result, you've got to use this device in the beginning 5 days a week for at least the first 2 months, 60 days. Thereafter, they say you can use it a few times a week, 2 to 3 times a week, in order to maintain the results. I'm at roughly the 2-month mark, but honestly, I found the results very subtle, and I didn't notice any difference. Looking back at photographs of myself before using it up until this point, I honestly see no difference in my face. The biggest difference that I see using this device comes immediately after using it, in terms of basically just reducing morning puffiness and improving facial contour. And the toning effect that I see with this, I think, is just kind of a temporary, almost pump. Have you ever done a bunch of bicep curls and you're like, wow, I look a lot more toned? It's just kind of a temporary change in volume of the muscle. Like I said, if you're trying to address the visible signs of skin aging, sagging, and volume loss, this device is not going to target those things whatsoever. Atrophy of the facial muscles is not a major driving force in the aging face. You can really see that accordion-like contraction of the muscles around the mouth, the crow's feet. So those muscles are still strong and contracting. They're not really atrophied at a rate that is going to make a difference. Really, where you're seeing volume loss and sagging in the aging face comes from a combination of weakening of the ligaments that kind of anchor everything in place, as well as redistribution of fat, bony resorption, and of course the changes to the overlying skin, loss of collagen and loss of elasticity. This device, while they claim it's going to improve ATP production and ultimately lead to more collagen and elastin, we just don't have the data to support that. There are other things that can do that, and that we do have data for in terms of improving collagen production. Tretinoin can do that. And wearing sunscreen can help prevent destruction of collagen. So I personally think your efforts are better put towards those things, but chances are you guys who watch my channel, you're already doing those things, and you want to know, is this like worth it? Is this going to give you kind of an edge? I honestly, in my opinion, I do not see this device as being worth your money. It's not inexpensive. It's $339, and for that, you've got to use it. It doesn't offer long-lasting results. You have to use it consistently in order to maintain the results that you see. In my experience using it personally, I found the results to be very subtle and very temporary. In other words, the following day, that little bit of improvement, that very subtle improvement in facial contour was no longer there. And after using it consistently for now 2 months, again, I don't see any sustained difference in the contours of my face. I've been using it 5 days a week as I instructed, and I don't use it on the weekends. So Saturday and Sunday, I don't use it. Come Monday morning when it's time to use this, my face looks the same as it did had I never used this. You know, come the following morning after using it even, my face really looks about the same. I think if you have a lot of laxity and sagging, I think you're going to be disappointed in this because, again, a lot of that comes down to loss of skin elasticity plus redistribution of fat. Targeting the underlying muscle may temporarily just kind of fill in a little volume and help ever so slightly contour the face, but you're not going to get dramatic results here. And it's, again, in my experience using it, it's very, very temporary. I would put this device in the same category as makeup. Like maybe something that you do before you put your makeup on to even further improve facial contour. Is it uncomfortable? A little bit, especially if you don't have a good layer of the gel. You will feel almost like a little shock-like sensation, like a rubber band snapping you. It's very, very subtle. It just kind of makes you feel a little uneasy. Where I noticed the most significant sensation, I guess, is when I put it over my forehead. There are a couple of settings that you can put this on. When I put it on the highest setting and ran it over my forehead, it almost feels like there is a string at the top of my head that is pulling. So I definitely felt a sensation, almost like something crawling under the skin on the forehead. It's not warm, it doesn't heat up. There are no lights that are emitted from this. So it should be safe for people who have melasma or hyperpigmentation. It shouldn't affect that because, again, it doesn't generate heat. If you're somebody, especially with a deeper skin tone that tends to heal with hyperpigmentation, this should not cause any issues for you. Who should not use this? Anybody who has like a pacemaker or any sort of implantable electrical device definitely would not want to use this. If you are pregnant or if you have an underlying seizure disorder, epilepsy, definitely talk to your doctor before trying this out. That is their recommendation. They also caution against using it if you have any type of active cancer. I think that that is a reasonable warning. Otherwise, yeah, it is safe to use. And aside from a little bit of a tingling sensation, I really didn't experience any adverse effects with this whatsoever. And I found it's pretty easy to use. I was surprised at how I actually kind of enjoyed using it. I like the electrodes have like a cooling sensation, similar to those ice rollers. Can you use it over other skincare products? You can. You would not want to use it, however, over like a heavy oil-based product because that may impede the conduction of the current. But if you're using like a water-based serum, like your vitamin C serum, you certainly could wash your face, apply your vitamin C serum, and then come on over with this and do the Nuface. They suggest that this will help enhance penetration of like your serums. Whether or not that's true, we have no data to support that. You know, for whatever it's worth, I guess you could try it. What are the ingredients in this? Water, propane diol, hydrolyzed hyaluronic acid, Tremella fusiformis, which is snow mushroom, rich in humectants, betaine, glycerin, another humectant, magnesium sulfate, I guess could be helpful in conduction of the current, ethyl hexyl glycerin, potassium sorbate, capryl glycol, phenoxyethanol, preservative, and sodium hydroxide, likely to adjust pH. I honestly can't comment on how like this would compare to any other product on the market. I think you could also use ultrasound gel, which you can get on Amazon, probably less expensive. I think this 2-ounce tube came with a device, but I think the 2-ounce tube you can buy at Ulta for like, I wanna say 13 bucks. And then on Derm Store, you can get a 5-ounce tube of it for 29 bucks. So that's kind of expensive for basically what I would label as like a hyaluronic acid serum, more or less. It seems a little pricey, but hey, it's not a bad product. It didn't cause any issue with me, but I know a lot of you guys comment that hyaluronic acid type products do cause irritation for you. In my opinion, the microcurrent thing is a bit of a hoax because there's just no data on using it for any kind of aesthetic purpose. And there's so many better technologies out there, including devices that you can buy on the market that in my opinion would be at least a better, more logical investment in your money. If you're looking for true skin effects that are, actually improving collagen, potentially, and improving elastin rather than just theoretically, there's actual science there and actual data there to support. For example, like red light, weak data, but it's there. The red light masks, or in the case of skin tightening, radio frequency devices. Nuface makes a few other devices. They have a smaller one, I know. One thing about this device I didn't show you is the electrodes, they come off this head and you can replace it with, they sell other heads that, I think they have a red light one, and they have one that's smaller for like the crow's feet area, I believe. All right, so that's my experience using Nuface. Let me know in the comments, those of you who use it, what your experience has been. I know a lot of you guys swear by it, you love it. So let me know, and let me know if you would like me to test out any other devices. I do have videos on red light for anti-aging if you want to check that out in the meantime, but it might be fun to actually give some of these devices a go. On the end slate, I will put my video on radio frequency skin tightening for you to check out. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.